What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a hoot and a holler, a true banger, if you will. Today we're talking about the time that I did some synthetic vape juice at school with my homie Ashton, and things went south very quickly. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Drop a like if you do, and a couple things I want to mention real quick. First off, I really appreciate all of the new subscribers coming in. We've been gaining over 1,000 new subs a day for 10 days straight now and counting. So I want to give a big thank you to all the new viewers. I hope you guys enjoy the content and stick around for a while. And also, another thing I want to mention, I know that this story is about smoking synthetic weed and cannabinoids and all that, but for all you real weed smokers out there, head over to glebtm.com. My homies over there are running a 420 special where if you use code GOBLIN at checkout, you can actually get 20% off of your order, as well as the free grinder still included. Ladies and gents, the secret gravity bong and a shaker cup is your key to having a wonderful quarantine and a wonderful 420. Look no further, baby. You ain't going to get another sale like this for quite a while. If you're thinking about copping, use code GOBLIN, glebtm.com. Ladies and gents, without further ado, let's dive right into it. Now, this happened way back in high school. This happened a long time ago. And my friend Ashton, for those of you guys who might be new to the channel, was a close friend of mine who also happened to sell a lot of drugs, right? And back in high school, I would typically get to school in one of two ways, right? I would either get a ride from a friend most of the time, or some days my mom would stay home from work, or on days she was off, sometimes she would let me take her car to school. And on this particular day, she let me drive myself. So it was a beautiful, fine and dandy day right off the bat, right? I hopped behind the wheel of my mom's car. I got a blunt rolled up ready to go and a second blunt ready for when I get off school. I spark up my first blunt. I got all the windows down in this bitch, making sure it's aired out, the smell doesn't stick. I even had the sunroof open. It was a little Honda CR-V. It wasn't, it was a fun car, honestly. Sometimes I miss whipping that thing around town because there was a point in high school where I went through a pretty long point. After I crashed my own car, I didn't have my own car for a long time, right? And I had to drive my mom's CR-V. This car was a blast, bro. I have so many hoopla, goon, nonsense, tomfoolery memories in this car. But I digress. Either way, so I'm smoking this blunt, cruising to school, minding my own business, and I get a text from Ashton. And he's like, yo, dude, you should come pick me up, right? Typically, I would be with the girl who drove me to school, right? And typically, her and I would go pick him up if he wouldn't take the bus. It was about 50-50. He'd either take the bus or he'd ask us to come pick him up, right? But, like, every morning, if Ash needed a ride, I was the guy who picked him up, right? Or, like, the chick who was driving. I was there, nevertheless, right? So he texts me, and he's like, you guys should come pick me up, right? And I'm like, oh, it's just me this morning, right? Like, I got my mom's car. And he's like, oh, fuck yeah, dude, what? Get over here right fucking now, dude. I got something special. So I whip over there. I go over to his house. I text him. I'm like, yo, I'm here, dude. He's like, oh, come in. Like, we got time, right? We didn't have time. It was like 5 minutes before the bell, but we didn't care. We were some delinquent fucking dickheads anyways. We did not give a shit. So I go into his house. This guy's playing Counter-Strike and mixing up vape juice at his desk, right? And he had, for those of you guys who haven't watched many of my Ashton stories, I'll give you a bit of background info here. Ashton had a really, really smart, intelligent connect who would actually, like, he wouldn't, like, create his own chemicals, but he knew how to, like, make chemicals, right? So, like, think of, like, when you look at someone cooking meth, this guy knew how to, like, make synthetics. Like, he knew how to take the ingredients and make, like, a THC analog or, like, a synthetic cannabinoid. It was really fucking cool. I'd spoken to this guy. I'd seen a little bit of what he had going on. This guy literally had, like, a basement lab. It was insane, but so fucking cool at the same time. So I walk in and, you know, I knew immediately when I saw Ashton mixing up vape juice what it was, right? He's like, oh, I got this new, like, synthetic mixture in, right? And I'm a little interested. I wasn't ever huge on synthetics. I'd sometimes smoke them with Ashton just because it was something new, and honestly, that shit hit like fuck. Like, I'd smoked that bullshit K2 Scooby Snacks before. This was on a whole different planet, dude. Like, this made those not even look like a drug. Like, this was real synthetics, right? Some crazy shit. So, either way, he's mixing this up. And, of course, back in high school, I had my vape. Back when I was in high school, Juuls were not really popular yet, and mango pods were still real, right? So if that gives you youngins out there an idea of how long ago I was in high school, it was a little while. This took place like 4 years ago, right? But like everyone had box mods back then. So for Ashton, it was really profitable when he would take some of the liquid form of the synthetic that he would get, and he would actually mix it into a vape juice and sell it, right? It was really profitable because everyone had vapes back then. Everyone had a tank that needed filling. Everyone had coils that needed to be dripped on. You know, he'd charge you like $5 to drip your coils, or he'd charge like, you know, however much for a full tank, right? I never got charged, so I never really knew. But either way, he was pretty generous with me, with having me test this stuff out. I was kind of his little guinea pig with it sometimes, if you will. So I'm chonging on my vape. He's playing some Counter-Strike. We're just kind of chilling, having a little morning chat. This guy's parents never gave a fuck. I don't even think they were home. I don't think they were home at this point. But even if they were, I don't think they gave a fuck. But either way, and we're sitting in his room chilling a little bit. Finally, it's time to go to school, baby. Hey. He fills up my tank right as we're about to leave the room. He's like, "Oh, dude, you want to try some of this?" Because I didn't want to ask, but, you know, if he was going to offer, yeah, I'll take some. So I'm like, "Hey, yeah, don't mind if I do." Fills my whole fucking tank with the shit, dude. We're walking out of my house. I'm like, "Bet, bro. This is going to be nice," right? So we hop in, and Ashton literally lived, like, maybe 5 minutes from school, right? So I hop in. We whip over to school, right? We get in the school parking lot, and I rip the fuck out of this vape, right? Ashton's like, "Dude, you might want to wait till we get to school before you hit this. Like, this is going to fuck you up," right? So we get to school. I rip this thing in the parking lot. I immediately feel like an iron golem, dude. I feel like I weigh 10 million pounds, dude. I literally am stuck to my driver's seat. Holy fuck. This shit, oh, wow. Like, I'm thinking about it now, and I can almost, like, feel it. Like, I'm having, like, a little flashback of just how intense of a, I don't know, I guess, like, a downer feeling this was. Like, it almost felt like a benzo. It was that extreme. It was crazy. So I'm immediately just stuck. I'm slump as fuck. I'm talking slower. I'm slurring my speech a little bit. And me and Ashton hop out of my car and walk into school, right? For the entirety of the first period, even if class was going, the cafeteria stayed open for kids to come get breakfast, right? So me and Ashton walk in that bitch, we grab our orange juices, we kind of sit down, chat a little bit, and the dean comes in. He's like, "What are you two fuckers doing in here? You know, don't you guys have class?" So of course, we naturally do our thing. We get kicked out, go to class, kind of do our thing, right? No biggie. We're chilling out. I'm going to class, right? I walk down the hall, and my whole school, right? I went to an alternative school from my junior year to, well, my junior year. I dropped out at the end of it. So I said that like it was some long time. It was just from my junior year to my junior year because I dropped out. So, oh, Jesus. Either way. So, this whole school, like literally maybe 8 classrooms. I'm not exaggerating. Maybe 8 classrooms. Like, that might be pushing it. I think it's 8 if you include the gym. Like, no cap. It was the smallest school ever, guys. Total students, I think it was under 100. I'm pretty sure it was like, I think there was like a total of like 80 kids at this alternative school, something like that. Some really fucking low number. So I walked like 2 feet down the hall to my fucking class, right? I get in class, I asked to go to the bathroom. First period, it was my English class. I get up, go to the bathroom, rip the fuck out of this thing. Get back, it's all fine and dandy, right? I'm feeling plastered, I'm feeling good, I'm chilling, going through my day. And you don't really have to pay attention at this school, so it's whatever, right? Going through my day, and finally 6th period rolls around. 6th period was the period before my lunch, right? And one of my least favorite classes of the day as well, right? So I'm like, well, 100% absolute fuck this, dude. I'm going to the bathroom and getting stunned, right? Because at this point I felt like, oh, I've been ripping this shit all day. I kind of got a feel for how strong it is. Let's go, right? But one thing you have to remember is you can't gauge synthetics and measure them the same way you gauge your tolerance for weed, right? A synthetic cannabinoid is very different from an actual real cannabinoid, right? They touch your body very differently, okay? They affect you very differently. So my dumb ass is sitting there thinking, man, my tolerance is probably up. I hit this a few times. I'm so fucked up, I'm thinking like this. I'm like, man, I'm just going to go chong the fuck out of this. So I raise my hand. I ask to go to the bathroom. Teacher's like, of course. I go to the bathroom, sit in the stall, annihilate, just start destroying this tank, right? Just ripping the fuck out of it. I'd say probably 6 to 7 hits. I just hit, held in and zeroed all the way with no smoke blown out. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're smacking a really strong, freshly made synthetic cannabinoid vape juice, that is a lot. And I immediately, within maybe 30 seconds to a minute after hitting it, I got this feeling where it felt like I was just falling and it never quite stopped. Like I just, pardon me, I got the Ronies. I can't even begin to describe it. Like literally, it just felt like what's that ride at Disney World? The Tower of Terror, I think. I've been on that like twice as a kid. It felt just like Tower of Terror. For any of you guys who have been on that, literally fucking identical, right? So I'm like, holy shit, dude. I'm fucking dying. Like, I'm tweaking out. Naturally, this makes me nauseous, right? So I get to the point where, like, I'm, like, literally on my knees, like, kneeling over the toilet, right? Because I'm about to vomit, because I can't even stand. I couldn't even sit straight. Like, I was sitting, but my upper half was just spinning, dude. I looked like a fucking, like, one of those MMA figures they punch, and then the dude's, like, still swinging around in a circle for, like, 3 minutes from the impact after, from the momentum after the boxer punched or whatever. I looked like that, dude. I was trying to sit on the toilet, just twirling the fuck around like an idiot. So I had to get on my knees and try to vomit, but I was dry heaving, right? And everything fell apart so quickly. I'm dry heaving, but I have to remember, oh shit, the dean's office is right across in the bathroom. He could hear me and come in. So I just have to chill. I just got to act cool, right? So I'm trying to dry heave quietly, which is not a very easy, if even possible, task. On top of feeling like I'm falling, on top of missing class, everything fell apart immediately, ladies and gentlemen. I think you guys could probably feel my anxiety through the microphone while I was reciting that, because I just relived that moment, and oh my god, it was terrible. But either way, I guess I'd been in there for so long that I didn't realize it, and Ashton comes in, because the next period is the fucking lunch period, so a bunch of kids, including Ashton, come flooding in the bathroom to rip their vapes and carts and shit and deal drugs, which was every passing period and lunch period at this school, right? And he finds me fucking tweaking out in a pool of my own sweat in the bathroom. He's like, yo, dude, are you good? I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm not really all that good, right? So he goes and grabs me a water. He kind of chills with me in the bathroom. I think dude even ate his fucking sandwich for lunch in the bathroom. What a real one, right? And, finally I start feeling better. I refuse to hit that thing for the rest of the day. And lunch is over. And by the time lunch is over, I'm just a little queasy and my head's throbbing. Nothing more. So at that point, I go to class and I just kind of ride it out through the rest of the day and just try my best to make it, right? I didn't rip the vape at all anymore. I didn't want any of that shit anymore. In fact, I remember handing it off to Ashton one period and being like, yo, dude, after lunch, and handing it off to him being like, dude, rip this all you want. And he was like, I'll hang on to it for you so you don't die from it, but I'm not going to rip it. And I was like, good enough, dude. That works for me. So he gave it back to me at the end of the day when I drove him home. But either way, I made it through the last 2 periods in the day after that. Pretty okay, but shit almost got really ugly really fast. Me being his guinea pig, it didn't work out great all the time. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you did. Thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, code GOBLIN, GleebTM.com. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.